And what is up, fellow lifeforms? I am Captain Zach, and welcome back to another video. And today we are playing StarMade, and this is, of course, part of the It's Only Logical tutorial series, where I review some of the cool logic features of Minecraft and StarMade. And as usual, I have not found anything worth reviewing, so I upgraded an old design of an old design. This is the Simple Logic Airlock version 3 because I couldn't be bothered to do a video about version 2. So, we have added changing signs, added a more understandable logic look. Still very, very simple, and we removed the red shirt bodies as they were clearing things up so majorly, and that last one is, of course, a joke. So over here we have a Docker ship, and I will get into why I built that later. But here we have the airlock. It's and don't let the massive logic wiring confuse you. It is really simple. So let's just press this button, and I'm just going to spam this button during the entire time because I'm impatient. And it's not working. It's not working. Oh, okay. Let me in. Okay, finally. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I want to get back out. I want to get back in my ship. Come on. Come on. The pirates are after me. The pirates. The pirates. No. Okay, so there was doors opening. Okay, that wasn't meant to happen. I hit it too fast. I was too impatient. But as you can see, the buttons are locked out until the end of the sequence. And all the buttons are linked together, so, you know, you can spam them as much as you want, and until the doors open, you can't actually get back in. Actually, set the thing again, and here we have everything like that. So, how does this thing work? It is quite simple, really. We have the buttons, and they are hooked up here into Bench's locking mechanism. This was done in one of his rail tutorial series, so I will put a link to the playlist of that in the description below so that you can learn all about rails and how they work. And if you know the basics of how rails work, it's really quite simple because that's what this new design uses. It's been using this ever since version 2. So, how this works is very simple. Basically, this middle circuit here, this middle, like, 9-block square area, these middle 7 here, are a locking mechanism. And when you press the button, you cannot trigger the door to open until the sequence is completed. And that makes everything worthwhile because no buttons work. Now the buttons work. Okay, so up here is basically the door closing controls. The compression sequence and the decompression. And each compression sequence closes the outer door. This one closes the inner door for decompression. And both of them come down and hook up over here to this slider direction control circuit. It triggers one of these buttons, which is hooked into these rails here, as is this rail controller block. This rail speed controller, since there's 3 modules connected and only one is active, it slows the thing down to about a third. When direction changes, this dock ship moves along like a slider. As it does, it triggers these buttons, which in turn triggers these flip-flop gates. Now, flip-flop gates change only when they receive a high signal, never when the thing shuts off, so it's great for taking buttons and turning them into a more stable input. Each of the flip-flops is hooked, of course, to one of these lights on the side, and also into these signs over here. Into these buttons over here. Each button switches the signs on the inside and outside to match one of these things. So it gives the illusion of a changing data readout, like atmosphere level 100%, 75, 50, 25, 0, and I had to place 2 up here above the docking clamp circuits. So external door open, external door closed, etc., etc. Once it reaches the end, one of these endpoints, like this button or this button, it triggers the relevant closest opening circuit. So one for the internal and one for the external doors. Once that's done, it sends a signal back up here when the rails are done so that everything works properly. And it's really easy to see how all this logic is supposed to work if you use the docking clamp circuits. So I'm going to close it so that you can, or rather decompress it so that you can kind of see how everything works. And I need to stop placing blocks. I asked you to take that thing away, and you didn't take it away. Why did you not take it away? Thank you. So basically, back there you didn't see any of these buttons. That's because each one is set to a rail, is connected to a rail, or next to a rail, I should say. Each one of these buttons is connected to all 8 of these ones on the outside. Of course, you can place a docking mechanism wherever you want on here, where any of these are, and everything should be fine. So, when I press one of these buttons, like let's press this one, it changes the way they all face. And that's what the majority of logic is used for on this thing, is simply just to change direction of rails. These doors, as you can see here, are on a rail. And so is the slider and everything else that is really important about this. So, why is it so important that I have a computerized docking clamp? Well, I'll show you with this ship here that I built last time I tried to record. And as you can see, if I go out here, this rail clamp is pointing up, unlike the standard universal serial dock, which is pointing to the left. And so if I were to try and dock it right there, and we switch modes, you can see just how horribly that would go. The rings don't line up. So that's bad. I mean, if you try to walk out, you'll be in deep trouble. So we'll just wait for the can dock again to expire. And we'll hop out of this ship because I need to wait a moment. Anyways, help me, please. I'm facing the wrong way, so let's go over here. Let's switch this pointing up. So you see now the rails are pointing up towards the top of the ship, which is exactly how this one is designed. And so if I dock it correctly, do the dock again, docking clamp, see, now everything lines up perfectly well. Yay. Yay for docking correctly. And let's disconnect it. And there is one other feature I should have gotten into while this thing was docked. So now here we are docked, but we can walk freely into the airlock, but how do we get through to the rest of the ship? I mean, there's still air. Well, that's what the override button is for! Yay! Look at that. That is awesome right there. Now we can walk completely through the ship, and the sign changes to override active. And now if the ship undocks and I do not have automated docking set up, but you know, you could, if you watch Bench's tutorial series, you could figure out how. And there we go, we have undocked, but now your ship is venting atmosphere. Well, before that happens, or if you're really smart, you could do it, you could set it to do it automatically. I do not know how. The doors can be closed. And how do you do that? It's simple, you just hit one of the buttons for the sequence, and the inner doors close, and everything resets properly, and everything is fine. So this is it, really. This has just been a simple little tutorial series. Everything, as you can see, is fully explained by sites across the logic module, across the demo thing. This is really like a 12 by 8 by 11. It is 12 by 10 actually on the thing. Oh no, wait, no, it's that 10 is actually part of the height. So let's see, we subtract 1, 2, 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's really a 12 by 5, but it's a 12 by 7 because the logic top and bottom. You can hide and route the logic anywhere you want, so that it looks all clean and nice. And you can put a docking module, as I said, anywhere one of these is. If you really wanted to, the way this ring is designed, you could put rails along here. But given how rails work, again, it does it via connected. So the system you really shouldn't mess around with how everything is set up right now. And if you do, you should take these rails out. But anyway, as I was saying, this has been the It's Only Logical series review of my own simple logic airlock. If you like this video and want to see more things like it, please hit the like and subscribe buttons so that I know what you're up to. And all I have to say now is, live long and prosper until all are one. Keep the faith, Keep the peace. And